In a world where it seems so negative and where self-doubt is so prevalent, more than ever, self-belief is really crucial at this time. And that's what I want to talk about in today's video. My name's James, and if you're new to the channel, welcome along. I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and I like to share my thoughts on positive stuff, if you like, to give you a bit of self-belief as you move along in this world. And today's little chat between me and you is one that I think's vital, because you have to believe in yourself. Self-belief is really important, because in a world where life isn't easy and we face many obstacles as we go on our way, you need to build up a bit of resilience, if you like, and having that self-belief that lets you know that whatever you do, whatever you come up against, you can still strive and achieve is so important to have. The trouble is, self-doubt does so much harm to us. I know this for a fact because I've beaten myself up more than I care to imagine. And like everyone, I think, I've had times where I've thought, I'm never going to do this. I'm so bad. I don't know how to do this. I don't have the skills. I don't have the abilities to do what I want to do and get on in this world. I understand that. Then you'll face the knockbacks. I've been sacked from a job before now, so I do know. I know what it's like to lose a business. And all of those things that surround us, we get so much negativity to us today that having self-belief is so important. You have to believe that you're worthy of the things that you want to go for. You have to believe that you're a good person and you know that you can achieve what you want to do. A lot of the time, you have to do fake it till you make it, I call it, where in your mind you're already there and you're working on your way. I'll think about things that I've succeeded in. I've pretended to myself. And I've achieved this and I've achieved that and I've done this and I've done that. And do you know what? If you can keep that in there for long enough, in the end, your mindset will change and you'll start to believe it. And then when you believe it, that's when things happen. And way down the road, you achieve the things that you thought of way back there. Everything that we think of. I'm talking to my phone as I talk to you. And that phone was an idea in someone's mind years before it ever became a reality. And it was only the self-belief of different people along the way that got the phone to the stage that it is today. Self-belief is so important. Self-belief is going to give you the confidence to hit your goals. I want to tell you a story that's come to the forefront in England in the last week or 10 days. A lot of people may not have been aware of it beforehand, but they certainly are now. I want to tell you about this little boy called Dan Byrne. He was a young boy from Newcastle who loved football and played football all the time and got picked up by Newcastle United as a very young child. He played there for a little while, and at the age of 11, he got rejected by Newcastle. Can you imagine that? Well, little Dan kept playing football for little associated teams around here, and as he got older, he went and played for more local teams, and then he got into the non-league, which is just underneath the league, if you like, in Britain. And so it's not very successful football, not by any stretch of the imagination. He got to the stage where he had to, for a while, give up playing football on Saturdays because he got a job for Asda, pushing trolleys around the supermarket. So it's a story of someone who's not really succeeding in his wanted field. But he didn't give up. He continued playing football when he could, and eventually got picked up after playing for several non-league teams by Fulham, a big football club in London. If you're in a different country, they're in the Premier League, which is in the top league in the country. He got picked up at 18, but didn't play his first game in the Premiership until he was 21. Now, this is 10 years after he'd been rejected by Newcastle. He'd been at the club for 3 years by this stage, and he had 2 more years there. But in the end, Fulham released him. When he left Fulham, he went to teams like Wigan and Yeovil and Birmingham City, not in the hierarchy of the Football League. And he kept going and he kept going and he kept playing. And he carried on playing and he ended up at Brighton. And can you believe it? In 2022, he was re-signed by Newcastle. So the club that he'd started off at 11, in 2022, when he was 29 years old, they re-signed him. And he'd done all of this journey and he'd played for Newcastle. And then on the 16th of March this year, which is, as I'm recording this, it's a couple of weeks ago, he played for Newcastle in the League Cup final and scored their first goal, which went on to help them win the League Cup, which was Newcastle's first domestic trophy in 70 years. How great was that? Well, it got greater because in the next few days, the England manager phoned him and told him that he was part of the England squad for their match on Friday night. He won the League Cup on Sunday, was brought into the England squad on the Tuesday or something like that. He played for the England team on Friday. He got his first England cap at 32. That's a story in itself. Talk about resilience. Talk about being rejected and let go from football clubs and keeping going and having that self-belief to push and push and push. It's one of the most amazing stories I've heard for a long time. It's been a great story and one that's really prompted me to do this video. At this moment in the video, what I'd like to do is ask you if you could do me a favour. I would love it if you could share some of the videos with people if you think they're worthy of it, like them, and of course comment as well. Because by doing those 3 things, we can help this channel get picked up by the algorithm and passed around to more people. So if you think this is helpful to you, could it be helpful to somebody else? So let's talk some more about self-belief. How do you get it? Well, you start off, I've already talked about faking it till you make it. A major part of it for me is something called self-talk. There's a book behind me somewhere in the shelves called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. And it covers the way that we think and how we think more negatively than we do positively. And it's the truth for everybody. And it talks about how you can talk yourself into positivity. Now that sounds silly, doesn't it? But when you're telling yourself that you're not good enough to do this and I'm not talented enough and I'm not this and I'm not that, we believe that. However, it works the other way too. It's harder the other way because over the years we've put so much negativity into our own heads that we struggle to believe what we're saying. And so it can take a while, but the more you do it, the better you get at it. You can tell yourself you're a leader of people. Whatever it is you want to do, whatever it is that you feel in your heart is what you should be, you can tell yourself about that. Script it into your head and start to think about that way. Tell yourself, I used to carry it, a little card on me. And every time I'd felt a bit negative, I'd pull this card out and read it. I'm confident, I'm charismatic, I'm a leader of men. People respect me. Da 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 da, and so on and so on and so on. I had all of them on this card. And I'd read this over and over again. And I've again kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it until I started to feel that way. And so this can happen for you. Self-talk is a wonderful thing. Another great thing is get yourself a journal. I've been keeping journals up there for the last 5 years. And in your journal, on a daily basis, write something positive. Start to think it and put it down on paper, because as you write it out, you believe it more. And then start looking around as you go out and about for things that make you smile, and also write them down. Write down at least one thing each day that keeps you positive, that makes you feel great. Because when days that you don't, I go back to my journal and look down my list of what I've written down each day. Let's look what I've written down in some of these. From January, right? These are some of the things that I've written down. Staying warm in the freezing cold. Long chat with my Henry on the phone. Had a call from my sister, my brother-in-law's all clear of cancer. All these sorts of things that you can write down in your journal. Get yourself one of these. They're worth their weight in gold. And make sure you write it every day. Write something positive and build yourself a gratitude sheet each day. Do one thing a day. If you can do more, do more. But that will help you no end. What you've also got to do is you've got to have a growth mindset. And what I mean by a growth mindset is about your ability to grow through the effort that you put in, the learning that you do, and keep doing it with persistence. Another big important thing is that you've got to learn to handle your failures, because whatever you want to do in your life, you're going to face them. But you've got to keep your mind on the prize. If you can keep your mind on the prize, the failures just don't matter. It doesn't matter how hard you get hit sometimes. You've got to have that ability to stand up, put your shoulders back, lift your chin up and keep going. You've got to believe in yourself. If there's something that you want out of life, you've got to go for it. And you just got to keep going. You're going to get obstacle after obstacle. That's the way the world works. But you still keep going and you will get to where you want to go. If you persist long enough, if you keep that pedal to the metal and you believe in yourself, you'll be amazed what you can achieve. And that's it for me today. It's day 19 on the videos. Click over there, you'll see a playlist of all the videos so far, and you can check out a few of them if you want, and I'll be back tomorrow. I'll see ya.